or if somehow they found out what the name of this apparition was. So all of these individuals collectively experience the same
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
Oh, it's hard to dispute that. They may call it a ghost.
When the light is on inside the house,
Mm-hmm.
some of that light goes through the cracks of the bamboo floor, so you can
Oh,
actually kind of see stuff underneath the house.
that building has been there for at least 100 years.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode, season 2 of Culture X Culture, and we are here sharing ghost stories, horror stories, scary stories, whatever it is that you have that you've experienced that have brought fear. Every country has a boogeyman of their own. So, and that's what we're doing right now. This is my friend Nelson. He is also my ex-roommate because COVID happened and things have to be moved around. But we were roommates for what, like 3 years?
Yeah.
The best roommates that we've ever had. But right now, we're not going to talk about our past experiences as roommates, but we are going to talk about something we never done while we were roommates, which is we're going to share a scary story to each other in this little blanket of ours.
All right. Let me tell you where this happens. This is where I'm from, my hometown of Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio.
All right. Now, Toledo, this took place at this building it's been a restaurant, it's been like a photo gallery, a bunch of different businesses have been in this one little old brick building in a southern suburb of Toledo, Ohio,
Okay.
named Maumee, Ohio.
Mommy?
Maumee.
Oh, mall me. Like mall, M-A-L-L.
No,
Me.
Maumee.
Mommy.
Yeah, Maumee.
Is this like an Asian owned mall or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Maumee, Ohio.
Okay.
All right. It's just a short, suburban drive outside of Toledo proper. It's right off of the river, and there's a lot of old homes. It's in almost a residential area, even though this building is a business. So now we're in this building. At my time of frequenting this establishment, it was a jazz club because I also play drums.
He is a drummer.
So I would perform there somewhat regularly. And then the more I played there, the more I started to befriend the waiters and waitresses that have worked in this building throughout the years. Or someone in the audience may have been a former waiter or waitress at businesses past.
Okay.
But all in the same building. Numerous businesses have come in and out. But there has been one common thread that that has stayed even though the businesses have changed.
Okay.
And this is, different people may call it different things. Some may call it just supernatural happening. They may call it a ghost, or they just any strange phenomenon happen. So this is how the story goes, as I've been told,
Okay.
from numerous people that have worked here. It can happen at any time of the day. It can be daytime or nighttime.
Oh.
And what often servers would have said is that not much may happen. You'll go into a room that you were in earlier, and the light is on. Where
Clearly, you turned it off.
yeah, you're like, oh, I'm pretty sure I remember turning the light off. Then you doubt yourself. Maybe I didn't turn the light off.
Okay.
Or maybe such and such turn the light after I left.
Right.
Anything could have happened. It's a small thing. It's a light. You don't question it that much.
Okay.
Then it'll start to escalate. They're getting ready for dinner service. They set all the tables.
Okay.
They put the silverware in the place there. And then they notice table 7 is missing the knives. And you're like, oh, I set every table exactly the same. How come table 7 doesn't
Is missing
have
knives?
Yeah, how come it doesn't have a knife. That's another thing.
Interesting.
You may just think of yourself, maybe I made a mistake again. And
it would have been different if it was just the spoons, but or like the forks even. When it's like the knife, there's like a certain amount of danger that it's a factor that gets put in place, because if it was, whether it's something or a real person that took it, for what reason are you taking knives away for?
Yeah. I don't think it's for eating a steak.
Oh no.
I don't think so. Yeah, so then the knives would change. Then it started to escalate throughout the years. You'll have whole place settings that would become missing. Entire tables worth of place setting that are just gone. Yeah, some of the ones that I spoke to that were former waiters and waitresses, they were former because of this reason.
So people actually quit. Oh my God. Okay, so I get skeptical. I get very skeptical, and I think, okay, maybe someone's playing a prank, right? One of the workers or whatever. But when you get to a point where people are quitting, not just one, but multiple people are quitting, and because it's happening over and over again, that's...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's in this little brick building on the corner in Maumee, Ohio. Also, then it kept escalating. So then, you'll have whole table sets disappear, or you may have whole table sets end up on the ground, broken, shattered. Entire place settings, boom, just shattered on the ground. It got so bad that when they would get ready for service, they named the apparition, and they would ask the apparition to not do anything today.
And nothing would happen if they asked?
Sometimes it might be polite, but they will call out to it and say, "Can you please not do anything today?"
Oh, Jesus.
And they will call out to this apparition, and they had a name for him. I don't know where the name came from, if they named it as a pet, or if somehow they found out what the name of this apparition was.
What was the name? Do you
I don't remember the name.
Oh.
I don't remember the name.
When you worked at a place like this, and the history, people have quit, not because of the management style, not because of, your coworkers, and you quit because there's an extra thing there that doesn't even work there and possibly doesn't even exist in the physical world. It's one thing when you didn't know, and then you found out as you were working there, and then you quit, or you're like, I really need this job. You really have to need this job to work here, to the point where you are asking, why would you work there? Mm-hmm. The fact that those people are now asking, that means they know, and now they are willingly just like, okay, now I'm going to work today, and at some point, I'm gonna have to talk to this thing.
Yep.
Bro.
Yep.
That's not worth it. And this place still exists to this day.
Yep. It's a new business now. It's still a music venue, but that building has been there for at least 100 years. Numerous companies and they all have stories.
That's the magic word right there, is the 100 years. Mm-hmm. The house that's been there for a long time. Something about it, on the plus side, the value goes up. But the older something gets, like a location, like a house, the scarier it is. Mm-hmm. Anything that you build brand new, you're not going to associate it with anything scary immediately. Oh, yeah. No. But you go to an old house, even though it's not abandoned, even though some people live there, and you just go and you look at it from the front, and immediately you might feel things. And it could be you just because you're feeling it, because you see it, and it looks scary to you, and all of a sudden you're starting feelings. Or is there really something there that's making you feel that way?
Yeah.
Oh. And this is what I tell people all the time. From all the years of existence of man, at some point, something died where you are sleeping at right now.
Ooh. The temperature just went down a little lower. Woo.
Isn't that crazy, though?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. If we ever visit Toledo, I would not like to go there.
We'll make our way down to Maumee, Ohio.
We can pass by.
Yeah.
We can pass by. A quick glance. Just, you don't want the image stuck there.
Yeah. Oh
Jeez.
my goodness.
All right, I have a story for you.
All right.
Okay, so this one comes from my uncle. Now, he's not my blood uncle. He is more so a butler than an uncle. He was one of the carpenters that helped build our house, our home. This is in the Philippines, okay? I was very young when this happened. So we had at least 3 girls that worked for us, and then he was the guy. So there's 4 of them at the house all the time. And he was telling this story to the other girls. This is his story.
Okay.
Over the weekend, he went home. Most people, especially in a small town, there's nothing to do, so most people hang out, they drink. I remember this very clearly, that there have been reports, news, going around the town. People are saying that there is this thing that we call Aswang. Okay? Aswang is a very well-known monster in the Philippines, and it is kind of like, I want to say vampire-like, but less prestige. You know how like vampire, like how they portray like Dracula, he's very like, he's rich, he's,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean, and
He's wearing a suit.
he has a suit.
Yeah.
More monster-like. Instead of having 2 fangs, it's like all the teeth are sharp. They're monsters in a way, they're vampires in a way. They just don't suck blood, they actually eat people. And
Does it only come out at night, or is it at any time?
that's why I say they're like vampires, because they have the commonality of like the whole garlic and the sunlight.
Okay.
So they can't be out in the open, but they can be out in the open, I think, as long as they're in their regular human form. I think, but there's like so many versions of it. There have been reports that this thing has been going around our town. They're known to target kids because they're a lot easier to get,
Yeah.
and also pregnant women, because 2 for the price of 1, I guess. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
And can't run fast. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a reason behind that, but that's like the common target there. This news has been going around. The people have been noticing this old lady that does not live there. So mind you, because it's a small town, so if you live in a neighborhood, everybody knows everybody. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. And so when somebody is there that's new, you immediately know you don't live here. You're not from around here. It's
Yeah.
that kind of vibe, right? So this old lady, no bags, no nothing. It's like, it's not like she's moving or something. Just her and her old dress. And they've seen her walk around a few times already for the last week, just in the area.
Yeah.
This night, someone saw her underneath somebody's house. Now, let me explain to you how this house looks like. Most people, especially back in the day, and even to this day, especially if you are on the poorer side, houses are usually made with wood and bamboo.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of times, because it's common in the Philippines to flood, they built the houses with legs, so there's like a second floor. The first floor is almost like a basement immediately, either 4 feet high or like a full person
Okay.
high, and then they'll have stairs that go up to your house, and then the actual first floor of your house is there, and then people just keep stuff underneath the house.
So it's more like a more extreme version of like how like homes in New Orleans are.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. The floor is usually made out of bamboo. Bamboos are long, right? And what they do is they cut them long ways, so then they're like 2 inches wide, and that's what they lay out on the floor. But because bamboos are round, that's why they cut them shorter. So now your floor is kind of like a little wavy, but the cracks in between, it's like big cracks. If you have a coin and it fell, it's gonna go
Oh wow.
down. So it's night, and in this little neighborhood, in this small town, there's very little at this time. There's very little streetlights. Actually, at this time, the road from the main town actually stops at a certain point, the concrete road, and it's just dirt road.
Oh,
But
wow.
there's still a lot of houses in that area. When the light is on, inside the house, some of that light goes through the cracks of the bamboo floor, so you can
Oh,
actually kind of see stuff underneath the house.
okay.
And so a person saw this old lady that they didn't know that they've been seeing underneath that person's house,
Oh my
looking
goodness.
up. Here is the thing that connects the dots, is that that lady that lives there, there's a couple, she's pregnant.
Uh-oh.
So it kind of connected the dots even more. So then that guy runs and calls his friends. A lot of the guys are out. There's one or two little areas that they meet to drink and stuff and hang out.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And it's like in that neighborhood alone. The little tiny stores are common in the Philippines. They literally put it in front of their house. You know what I mean? Like they
Oh,
live
okay.
here and then they'll build like a tiny little hut and they sell like just it's kind of like a mini version of 7-Eleven. Like they just have a bunch of stuff. They sell beer, they sell, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's just so that it's convenient for people. He ran over there, goes, dude, the old lady, remember the old lady, blah blah blah. She's over there. I don't know, man, but this whole news about the Aswang going around. She's over there. So and so, whatever that lady's name is pregnant. I don't know what's going on, but we should check it out at least. So a bunch of guys came out. They all left whatever they're doing, and my uncle was one of them. And because it's dark and it's at night, and obviously this is a small town, so and majority of the people that live in this particular area is poor, so not everyone owns a flashlight, not even a flashlight,
Oh,
bro.
wow.
So people literally lit candles and like torches. It's that level, and this is like maybe in, I want to say in the late 90s
Okay.
that when this happened, and they went to that house and the old lady was still there. So they went and they started like being loud, like, "Hey, what are you doing over there?" And as they were approaching her, so then they see her leave. And mind you, it's really dark, and it's like the yellow light that's just beaming from the house going down. So you see a little bit of her. You can just enough to make out that's the old lady because she's wearing the same clothes, but it's still mostly like dark, and they're following her, right, with the torches and with the
Yeah.
candles, and they're chasing her, right? She starts walking towards the side of the house, which everything else after that house is just trees and bamboo trees and grass and everything. And they start going after her. And this is my uncle's words. This is exact words from him. He said, and he obviously said in Filipino, but he said, what was weird was we were running at full speed. And I can see her. I can see her. Obviously, she has a dress on, but you could still tell if a person is running or not, even though they have a dress on.
Yeah.
She didn't look like she was running. She looked like she was just walking. And we were running at full speed, and yet we couldn't get to her. Like we
Oh, my
couldn't
goodness.
chase her. She's just getting further and further away, even though we are way faster.
Oh,
Or it
my
looked like we were
goodness.
way faster. Eventually, okay, so she then went into these area where it's like thick bamboos, right? Just like growing out. She went in there and they followed her, and then they couldn't find her anymore after that. Now mind you, this is supposed to be an old lady.
Yeah.
So number one, let's say she was sprinting. How does an old lady outsprint someone in his like 20s?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my uncle was young at that time when he was working for us. Like he was definitely like, in his 20s. At most, he's like early 30s.
Yeah.
How can an old lady outrun someone in his 30s? And mind you, this guy is like, he's built. He's a carpenter. So he's like, he has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's built. He's
in shape.
He's in shape.
Wow.
And he couldn't outrun her.
Oh my goodness.
I can't speak for all the other people. And then she just disappeared. And that's the end of that story.
Oh my goodness.
And
So
here-
they never found her.
They never found her, and here's the crazy part. For me, what's crazy is that it's different when one person says it, because it's their experience, and you don't know. Sometimes we see things. Sometimes our brain works in mysterious ways. Sometimes we could blame it on that, like maybe I was just seeing things. What makes things scary for me is when multiple people experience the same thing.
Oh wow.
And these people don't have any reason to make up stories.
Yeah.
Old men who was there, who was present, who did exactly what my uncle did, chased down this person and could never get to her.
Yeah, and so all of these individuals collectively experience the
Yes,
same thing.
exactly.
Oh, it's hard to dispute that.
To me that's what makes it scary.
Yeah.
It's not that nobody died, right? Nothing happened. But the fact that multiple people chased an old woman and could not outrun her, and then you add the fact that visually, even though it was dark, they had torches, but even though it was dark, you can clearly see when a person having a dress is running. You'll see the dress kind of like
Oh, yeah.
move around. There's barely any movement. It's almost like she's floating, and they can't catch up to her, dude.
And that's believed to be the Aswang or
Aswang, yeah.
Aswang.
That's what they thought it was, because that's a well-known thing that pregnant women in Philippine folklore are always targeted by these monsters. Collectively, the whole town was talking about it. Yeah, man. So that's the story of my uncle, and that story has stayed with me to this day because I am very, very critical when it comes to ghost stories. I question all of them all the time. For me, there's usually an answer to everything. Like there's usually, like, I know why that happened, or there's a possibility that this could have happened, even though that's not really what happened. But the fact that there's a possibility immediately kills it for me.
Yeah.
Right? So what scares me the most is when there's multiple people involved. Like that makes it more legit, because then I can't answer it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like where can you find the reason in it?
Yeah, that scares me, is when I have questions and there is no answer. That's crazy. What do you think? You still want to go to the Philippines after?
Make sure I have all the lights on at night. Yeah.
Would you live at a place like that?
I don't even know how people leave their windows, like their blinds open at night and you can see in. I can't even do that.
Yeah,
We're closing it up.
People do that in the Philippines. Blinds is not a thing. So I mean, some people have curtains, right? And it's just like on a rope. But like for houses like that, there's no curtains. It's really hot in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And humid. So if you at night, if you want to sleep well, and it's like during the hot season, you're gonna want to open your windows, especially for those people that live in a house like that. You have to leave your window open, and it's like wide window. There's no glass there. It's like you open it, and it's just open window. That's it. Mosquitoes, aswangs, everybody's free to come in. Robbers.
There's no way.
And I think that's why they put it's safer for the house to be in a second story, because it's harder for robbers to like actually climb up there.
Oh my goodness. No, there's no way I could do it. There's no way. I don't even like ground floor apartments.
All right, so that's it for this episode of Culture X Culture. Thank you for staying tuned, and if you're here at the end of the video with us, I appreciate it. Please leave a like and comment and subscribe. We're going to leave links down below for Nelson. Check him out. He's an amazing drummer and a musician. Also, he also plays bass. I just realized that he plays bass.
I've been playing a lot of quarantine bass.
A lot of quarantine bass, yeah. So, and also an amazing cook, by the way. This guy can cook. Hope you like this video, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.